The devotees are those who are under the shelter of Srimati Radharani. Daivim Prakritim Ashritaha. Bhakti for the Supreme Lord Krishna has the potency to completely attract Krishna. And the supreme goddess of that bhakti, goddess of that devotion, the supreme abode of that devotion is Srimati Radharani. And yes, celebrating this occasion of Radhashtami, we will discuss a few glories of Srimati Radharani. But right at the beginning, let us meditate on our own lack of ability, at least let me say for myself. Let me declare my own lack of ability and qualification to sufficiently glorify Srimati Radharani. One who thinks that one is qualified to discuss such an esoteric and exalted subject matter is actually not qualified. Humility is the qualification to be able to glorify Krishna or glorify Krishna's devotees or glorify Krishna's supreme devotee Srimati Radharani or even chant the holy names of Krishna. Although Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu distributes the holy name of Krishna everywhere, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associates, his devotees, his followers enthusiastically spread the glories of holy name everywhere, freely, patra vichara. There is no discrimination on the basis of who is patra and who is apatra, who is qualified and who is not qualified. Such considerations are not there in distributing the holy name, definitely. However, to be able to effectively chant the holy names of the Lord, always the qualification is humility. Who says this? Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Sikshashtakam. Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sada harihi. Trinadapi sunichena. One is humbler than blade of grass. Tarorapi sahishnuna. One who is more tolerant than a tree. Amanina manadena. One who is willing to offer all respects to everyone. And one who is not hankering to be honored by others. Such a person can chant the holy names of Lord Hari always. Kirtaniya sada harihi. The qualification or the ability to chant the holy names of Krishna always, nirantara, comes by one's Vaishnava qualities headed by humility. And a humble devotee never thinks that he or she is qualified to chant the holy names or to spread the holy names or to glorify Krishna. And even to reach that stage of humility takes a lot of time. Humility is not a product available on Amazon that you can order. I need, 10 boxes of humility so that I will get the qualification to chant Lord Hari's names always. Kirtane Sada Hari. For Kirtane Sada Hari, I need this much of humility. Let me order. Doesn't work. We need to strive to develop this quality of humility. And interestingly, as Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself says in the Caitanya-caritāmṛta, 7th chapter, to a great devotee named Vasudeva, you please chant the holy names of Krishna, then you will become humble. You will not be proud. You see, to be able to chant the holy names of the Lord, we need to be humble. And to be able to cultivate that humility, we need to chant. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced this Vasudeva leper and he relieved him from leprosy. And Vasudeva leper developed such a beautiful, well-built, handsome, healthy body. But as soon as he received this special blessing and grace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, embrace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, immediately the sincere devotee Vasudeva leper felt that I may become proud. Because I received special grace from the Lord, I may become proud of this special blessing. Oh Lord, I don't want to become proud. A devotee's concern is that I may be degraded by developing this quality of pride or envy. Devotees are very careful. I should not become proud. They are fearful of these witches of pride and envy. Let me not become proud of my so-called superior status in comparison to other devotees. Let me not become envious seeing some other devotee flourishing in bhakti more than me. So devotees are afraid of these qualities. Let me embrace humility and appreciation, genuine appreciation for others' good qualities. Let me not be embraced by envy and pride. So devotees always aspire for the qualities of humility and desire to stay away from the qualities of envy and pride. So, sadhaka bhaktas are work in progress. We are trying to cultivate these qualities and develop a drop of humility. And another way of cultivating that humility is to chant the holy names of the Lord. Kirtanam, Krishna Kirtanam. So Kirtanam is not just chanting the holy names of the Lord. Kirtanam is also to glorify the Supreme Lord and His devotees. And this is a way of purifying oneself. With a desire to purify my own consciousness, let me just speak a few glories of Srimati Radharani on this auspicious occasion of Shri Radhashtami. In line with the teachings of Srila Prabhupada, in line with this beautiful Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has given all of us, especially the 4th chapter of Caitanya-caritāmṛta Adilila, presents several glories of Srimati Radharani and Radha Tattva. So we'll try to meditate on them. So today we are reading from this particular shloka. Hladini karaya Krishne ananda swadan, Hladini radvara kare bhaktera poshan. Hladini is one of the energies of the Supreme Lord. Parashya shaktir vividhaiva shruyate. So the Supreme Lord Krishna is the abode of all energies. And his energies are primarily categorized into 3 groups. 3 types of energies he has. One, the external potency, internal potency, marginal potency. As we know, external potency is the Maya Shakti, the material energy. Internal potency is the spiritual energy, the Antaranga Shakti or Chit Shakti. And marginal potency is Tatastha Shakti, which is the Jivas, that constitutes the Jivas. Now let's go deep into this internal potency. The internal potency or spiritual potency of the Lord again has 3 constituents. Sandhini, Samvit and Hladini, also called Sat Chit Ananda, as Prabhupada beautifully explains in this purport. Sandhini, Samvit, Hladini. Sandhini potency, also called Sat potency, is the potency of existence, eternality. Then Samvit, also called Chit potency, is the knowledge potency of the Lord. Hladini, also called Ananda, is the pleasure potency of the Lord. Hladini. Hladini rasara prema. The essence of Ananda is prema, love for the Lord. The real Ananda comes not by having so many material facilities, not by having such exalted position or status in this material world. That's not the source of real Ananda. The real Ananda comes by prema, love. Love towards whom? Not some material achievements or materialistic people or material facilities. Love for Krishna. The real Ananda or pleasure is there in love of God. When we genuinely love the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, when we try to cultivate that Krishna prema, that Krishna prema is the source of all Ananda. Basically, the essence of Ananda is prema. And what is the symptom of prema? When somebody is actually in love with someone else, what's the symptom? They have emotions, an emotional bonding. I love somebody, but I don't have any emotions or feelings toward that person. It doesn't work, right? So when you love someone, you definitely have a deep emotional bonding and attachment to that person. So the essence of prema is bhava, emotion, emotional bonding. And that bhava, when it becomes very condensed, dense, it becomes mahabhava. And the personification of that mahabhava is Srimati Radharani. Srimati Radharani is the person form of mahabhava, the deep, ecstatic emotion for Lord Shri Krishna. You see, the spiritual energy of the Supreme Lord is the top of all his energies. And in that spiritual energy, there are three ingredients. In that, Hladini potency is the essence. And the condensed form of that Hladini potency, Srimati, is Mahabhava. And Radharani is the personification of that Mahabhava. Right? So this is what Caitanya-caritāmṛta teaches us. This is what the Acharyas teach us. The Srimati Radharani's tattva is very exalted. Just as energy cannot exist without the energetic person, an energetic person has no meaning without energy, and thus energy and energetic person exists as one unit. Similarly, Radha and Krishna exist as one unit. They are inseparable. They can never be separated from each other. Radha and Krishna are one. In this Caitanya-caritāmṛta only, somewhere else, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writes, Radha Purna Shakti, Krishna Purna Shaktiman. Radha is Purna Shakti, complete energy. Krishna Purna Shaktiman. Krishna is the possessor of that energy. Radha Purna Shakti, Krishna Purna Shaktiman. Duyi vastu bheda nahi, Shastrera Praman. There is no difference between Radha and Krishna, and it is Shastra Praman. It's not speculation, right? Shastras are teaching us. Kaviraj Goswami says, Shastra Praman, we have Shastric evidence that Radha and Krishna are one. Radha Krishna Eka Atma Duyi Deha Dhari, Anyonya Vilasakare Asmadana Kari. Radha Krishna Eka Atma, they are one. But Duyi Deha Dhari, they manifested in two forms. For what? Why? One entity has to manifest in two entities, two personalities, one masculine, one feminine, one male form, one female form. Anyonya Vilasakare Aswadana Kari. Just for some loving pastimes, Aswadana Kari, just to enjoy and relish loving pastimes amongst each other, they manifested in two forms. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikriter Hladini Shakti Rasmad Ekatma Nav Api Bhuvi Pura Deha Bhedau Gatautau Caitanya-caritāmṛta Prakata Badhuna Tadvayam Chaikyamaptam Radha Bhavadyuti Subalitam Naumi Krishna Swarupam. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Hladini Shakti Rasmad. All the wonderful pastimes of Radha and Krishna are transformations of Hladini potency, we just discussed. The pastimes of Radha and Krishna are not manifestations of material energy. All the conjugal pastimes or Madhurya pastimes of the Supreme Lord are never influenced by the material Cupid. Even in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is very emphatically declared, Uddama Bhava Pishuna Malaval Guhasa Vridavaloka nihato madanopi yasam sammuhya chapamajahat pramadottamasta yasyendriyam vimathitum kuhakairna sekuhu uddama bhava pishuna amalavalguhasa. All the queens of Krishna have such spotless smiles, such divine feminine attributes, and even great personalities also may get captivated by their wonderful spiritual beauty. But still, the Supreme Lord Krishna is never allured by or tempted by their feminine attributes. He is only attracted to their pure, heartfelt devotion. And Madanopi Yasam, Madana means this Cupid. So, to instigate loving feelings between men and women in this material world, there is this material Cupid who keeps showering, shooting his flower arrows. But when he comes to Krishna and he tries to shoot flower arrows, he gets frustrated. Because Cupid thinks, generally, to instigate loving feelings, conjugal feelings between men and women, boys and girls, I need to I need to shoot flower arrows. But without my shooting flower arrows, Radha and Krishna, or Krishna and all these consorts, are automatically getting attracted to each other. What does that mean? The material Cupid or Kamadev or Madana has no role to play in Krishna's conjugal pastimes. They are manifestations of pure spiritual love, not mundane material lust. Right? So Radha Krishna's pastimes or Krishna's pastimes with any gopis or Dwarka queens or Vaikuntha Lakshmis, all these divine pastimes of the Supreme Lord and his eternal consorts are manifestations of divine Haladini potency, pleasure potency of the Lord. Prabhupada writes in the 10th canto in Krishna book that when a small child goes in front of a mirror and starts playing with his own reflection, is there anything wrong in it? Is he dependent on somebody else? Is he encroaching on someone else's property for his enjoyment? No. Similarly, when Krishna is having such wonderful pastimes with Radharani or the gopis or Dwarka queens or other consorts, it is like Krishna playing with his own energies. They are non-different. Krishna and his energies are non-different. Krishna and all the gopis are on the same spiritual plane. Therefore, all their pastimes are completely pure. So, Radha Krishna pranaya vikritir hladini shaktirasmat ekatmanav api bhuvi pura deha bhedau gatau tau. Ekatmanav, although they are one, api bhuvi pura. You can't trace when did they manifest themselves in two forms. Deha bhedau gatau tau. They manifested in two forms. For anyonya vilasakari, aswadana kari, just for aswadana, just for relishing pastimes, divine pastimes, transcendental pastimes. So this is Radha Tattva. She is the personification of the Mahabhav, which is the essence of Hladini Shakti, which is the confidential portion of Krishna's spiritual energy. That is her Tattva. Now, the scriptures further teach us about Srimati Radharani's consciousness. Devi Krishnamayi Prokta Radhika Paradevata Sarva Lakshmi Mayi Sarva Kantihi Sammohini Para. Devi Krishnamayi Prokta. Krishnamayi means Srimati Radharani is filled with Krishna. Her eyes are filled with Krishna's darshan. Her ears are filled with Krishna's holy names and Krishna's flute songs and words, conversations, appeals. Her nose is filled with the fragrance coming from the flowers offered to the Supreme Lord Krishna. She is filled with Krishna. Her body, mind, words, everything is dedicated to Krishna. Devi Krishnamayi Prokta Radhika Paradevata. Sarva Lakshmi Mayi, she is an abode of all opulences. She is not only an abode of all opulences, she is not only the source of all goddesses of fortune or Lakshmis, she is also the abode of all love for Krishna. That's what we are discussing today. Hladini Karaya Krishne Anandasvadana. Srimati Radharani gives so much of pleasure to Krishna because she is personification of Hladini potency, and the function of Hladini potency is to offer prema to Krishna, offer ananda to Krishna. Hladini Karaya Krishna Ananda Asvadana. Ananda Asvadana. How can Krishna relish ananda? How can he do ananda asvadana? Because of Hladini Shakti. And that personification of Hladini Shakti, Srimati Radharani. So one function of Srimati Radharani is to give pleasure to Krishna by offering her divine, transcendental service, dedicated service, selfless service, with absolutely no desire for personal enjoyment. Srimati Radharani decorates herself only to please Krishna's eyes. Srimati Radharani cooks so many food items only to please Krishna's tongue. Srimati Radharani speaks only to give pleasure to Krishna's divine eyes, transcendental eyes. Srimati Radharani acts, whatever she does is only for the service of Krishna. Therefore, she is Krishnamayi. She is filled with Krishna. All her activities and thoughts are filled with Krishna consciousness. She is the epitome of Krishna consciousness. Right? So that is one function. To give pleasure to Krishna, to offer service to Krishna is one function of Srimati Radharani or Hladini Shakti. What is the other function? You see the second line. Hladini Radvara Kare Bhaktera Poshana. Bhaktera Poshana means to nourish devotees is another function of Srimati Radharani. Srimati Radharani's blessings are the source of nourishment for all devotees. Without Srimati Radharani's divine blessings, where is the question of spiritual nourishment? In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami writes very beautifully. Pure devotional service or Uttama Bhakti or Shuddha Bhakti or Akinchana Bhakti or Avyabhicharini Bhakti or Ananya Bhakti, these are all different terms for the same thing, pure devotional service. So, pure devotional service has 6 characteristics. You know what are they? Klesha, Agni, Shubhada and many others. Out of these 6 characteristics, the 6th characteristic is Sri Krishna Akarshini. The characteristic of pure bhakti is to attract the all attractive Krishna, Sri Krishna Akarshini. What is Sri Krishna? What is the meaning of the word Krishna? Sarva Akarshayati iti Krishna. Krishna means one who attracts everything and everyone. But what can attract Krishna? Bhakti can attract Krishna, Sri Krishna Akarshini. So, that which can attract the all attractive Krishna is bhakti. And why bhakti has that potency, or why bhakti has that ability to attract even Krishna? Because that bhakti is there within the heart of Srimati Radharani. She is the personification of devotion. Right? So when we are trying to practice pure devotional service, we are basically trying to follow the footsteps of Srimati Radharani in her service to Krishna. Right? Whether a devotee of Krishna is aware or not, the devotion of the devotee is a minute fragmental part or an amsha of the bhakti that Srimati Radharani has for Krishna. Just as the jiva, the living being, is a part and parcel of Krishna, the jiva, the living entity, is an amsha of Krishna, the jiva's bhakti for Krishna is an amsha of the Supreme Bhakti Devi, Srimati Radharani. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Radharani is the Supreme Devotee of that Supreme Lord. And we are amshas of Krishna. And our devotion is amsha of Radharani's devotion for Krishna. And that's what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, right in the middle. Out of 700 shlokas of Bhagavad Gita, you go to the middle one, shloka number 350. The 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 13th shloka says, Mahatmanastu mam partha Daivim prakritimashritah Bhajanti ananya manaso Gnatva bhutadimavyayam. Mahatmanastu mam partha. Who is a Mahatma? Who is a great soul? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, right in the middle. Because Srimati Radharani's subject matter is very confidential, Krishna has hidden it right in the middle. See the book? Right in the middle. He just kept there. Mahatmanastu mam partha. Who is a Mahatma? One who has taken shelter of Srimati Radharani. Daivim prakritim ashrita. Prabhupada writes in the purport of Nectar of Instruction. Upadeshamrita's translation, Nectar of Instruction. Prabhupada writes in one purport that Daivi Prakriti is none other than Srimati Radharani, the divine energy of Krishna. Daivim Prakritim. Ashritaha. One who has taken shelter of Srimati Radharani is a Mahatma, a great soul. Right? Daivim Prakritim Ashritaha. And after taking shelter of Srimati Radharani, this Mahatma becomes a devotee. Actually, by taking shelter of Srimati Radharani, that person becomes a Mahatma, means a great devotee. And do what? And does what? Bhajanti ananya manaso. Ananya manasa. With absolutely no distraction in his mind. Ananya manasa. With absolutely no deviations or distractions or temptations or allurements. Ananya manasa. With a mind fully dedicated to the Lord. Bhajanti. He does bhajan of Krishna. He does devotional service of Krishna. Bhajanti ananya manaso. So our bhajan of Krishna, our bhakti of Krishna is dependent on the ashraya, shelter of Srimati Radharani. Daivim prakritim ashrita bhajanti ananya manaso. Very clear. Gita says. That's why, not just that. Bhajanti ananya manaso gnatva bhutadimavyayam. One is bhajan, second is gnan. By Radharani's ashraya, by taking shelter of Srimati Radharani, one is able to do bhajan of Krishna without any distraction in mind, and one is able to also cultivate knowledge. Gnatva means knowledge of Krishna. Bhutadimavyayam. Krishna is the origin of all living entities. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattaha sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. Bhajante. Knowing that Krishna is the source of everything, knowing that Krishna is the origin of every living being and every particle of dust in the entire cosmic manifestation, we worship Krishna, we serve Krishna. So that knowledge about Krishna and that service attitude towards Krishna are acquired by a living entity by taking shelter of Srimati Radharani. Therefore, our Vaishnava scriptures teach us that Srimati Radharani is Ashraya and Krishna is Vishaya. What is Vishaya? Object of devotional service. Object of bhakti is Krishna. And Ashraya means shelter of bhakti is Radharani. She is Ashraya, Krishna is Vishaya. We want to perform devotional service. We want to cultivate those devotional feelings, right? Bhakti bhava. And who is the object of our bhakti? Who is the object of our devotion? Who is the recipient of our devotional service? Krishna. Therefore, he is Vishaya. He is the object. And all these bhakti, devotional feelings and service attitude are under the shelter of the Ashraya, that is Srimati Radharani. Right? By taking shelter of the supreme Ashraya, Srimati Radharani, we develop bhakti unto Krishna. This is the tattva of Srimati Radharani. Radha nama sudhara samrasayitam jihvastu me vihvala pado tatpada kankita sucharatam vrindata vividhishu tatkarmaiva karah karotu hridayam tasyah padam dhyayatat tadbhavotsavatāh param bhavatu me tat prananathe rati. Here, I think Vyasasan positioning is in a very strategic location, right under the shelter of Srila Prabhupada, and from here you can see Madan Mohan in side angle. No one else is visible, but Madan Mohan is visible in side angle. Prabodhananda Saraswati says, Radha nama sudhara samrasayitum jihvastu me vihvala Let my jihva, let my tongue become vihvala, become ecstatic by uttering the name Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Raman, Radha Krishna, Radha Gopinath, Radha Govinda. So Radharani is constant before Krishna's name. Whichever form Krishna takes, Radha must be the prefix, or Radha must be before Krishna. So Radha nama sudhara samrasayitum jihvastu me vihvala padau tatpada kankita sucharatam vrindata vividhishu. Padau tatpada kankita sucharatam. Basically, a devotee's aspiration is to follow the footsteps of Supreme Goddess of Devotion, Srimati Radharani, and cultivate that devotion unto Krishna. Without her blessings, without her ashraya, as we discussed elaborately in the last almost half an hour, without her ashraya, without her blessings, we won't be able to develop those devotion for Krishna. Padau tatpada kankita sucharatam vrindata vividhishu. Vrindata vividhishu. Srimati Radharani is moving in Vrindavati, Vrindatavi, Vrindatavi, Vrindaranya, Vrindavan, all same. Atavi means forest, Aranya means forest, Van means forest. Vrindata vividhishu. So as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanayastadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadhu Vargenaya Kalpita. Our Aradhya Bhagavan is Krishna, Vrajesha Tanaya Krishna. And the supreme Aradhana for that Lord is done in Vrindavan, Tadhama Vrindavanam. And the supreme Aradhana for that Lord is done by the gopis of Vrindavan. Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanaya. Our worshipable Lord is Vrindavan Krishna. Tadhama Vrindavanam. Our supreme abode is Vrindavan. And Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadhu Vargyanaya Kalpita. And the supreme Aradhana or worship of Krishna in Vrindavan is done by the gopis of Vrindavan. And amongst all the gopis, Srimati Radharani is the topmost. That's why Anayaradhitononam Bhagavan Haririshwaraha. You know Vihaya Govinda, leaving all the other gopis, Lord Krishna went with Srimati Radharani to give her exclusive time, to spend exclusive time with her. Gopis are most exalted, and even amongst gopis, Srimati Radharani is the most exalted. In fact, Srimati Radharani is the source of all these gopis. Padau tatpada kankita sucharatam vrindata vividhishu tatkarmaiva karah karotu hridayam tasyah padam dhyayatat. Tatkarmaiva karotu. With my hands, let me do her work only. Whenever you are serving Krishna, that is Srimati Radharani's service. That is Radharani's activity. Srimati Radharani is that devotee of Krishna who is constantly engaged in Krishna's service. And for a devotee who is practicing devotional service, to get that ability and to get the inspiration to constantly engage in Krishna's service with all of one's senses, one needs Radharani's blessings. All our limbs, bodily limbs, are meant to be engaged in Krishna's service because we got them from Krishna. Hrishikena Hrishikesa Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. Hrishika means senses, Hrishikesha means the master of senses, Krishna. Hrishikena Hrishikesa Sevanam. All the senses are meant to be utilized in the service of the master of senses. And who is utilizing all her senses in the service of the master of senses to the fullest extent, since time immemorial, for the rest of eternity, to the ultimate possibility? That is Srimati Radharani. Jihve kirtaya keshavam muraripum cheto bhaja sridharam panidvandva samarchayachyuta katha shrotradvayatvam shrunu krishnam lokaya lochanadvaya harer gacchangri yugmalayam jighragrana mukunda pada tulasim murdhanna madhokshajam. Jihve kirtaya. who is constantly engaging one's tongue in glorifying the Supreme Lord Krishna, who is constantly using one's mind in always thinking of Krishna and nothing else. Ananyas chintayanto mam. Panidvandva samarchayachyuta katha. Who is constantly using one's hands in serving Krishna and doing nothing else. If my hand has to move, it has to move only in service to Krishna. It has absolutely no other utility. If my eyes have to see something, it must be only Krishna's form and nothing else. Who is in this consciousness constantly? Srimati Radharani, right? Her eyes never opened till she saw Krishna, till Krishna touched her. In Vrindavan, as you know, once Narada Muni came to Nanda Maharaj's palace and saw Krishna, became blissful, ecstatic, seeing Krishna. And after meeting Nanda Maharaj in Nanda Bhavan, Narada Muni went to Vrishabhanu Maharaj's palace, Kirtida Sundari's palace. So, as soon as Narada Muni went to Vrishabhanu Maharaj's palace, he said, I just went to Nanda Maharaj's palace and I saw his beautiful baby boy Krishna. Do you also have any children? A daughter or a son? I would like to see. Give me darshan. Anyways, I have come here all the way to Vrajabhumi. Let me meet both the kings. One king is Vrindavan, one king is Nanda Maharaj, another king is Vrishabhanu. Do you have also some children? Then Vrishabhanu Maharaj said, yes, I have one child. A beautiful boy, Sridama. He showed Sridama. And Narada Muni saw him, became very impressed with him. This boy is very special. He will become a great friend of Krishna and Balaram as he grows up. Protect him nicely. And Narada Muni offered his blessings to Sridama and he left. And he was about to leave. Then Vrishabhanu Maharaj said, Narada Muni, stop. Actually, I have another child also. I did not show you. I have another child. Oh, really? Who is that? That is his younger sister. But why did you not show her to me? Then Vrishabhanu Maharaj said, she seems not having the ability to see or speak or hear anything. Apparently she is blind, dumb, deaf. We don't know. We are very anxious about that little baby girl. Then Narada Muni said, okay, can you please take me to her? Then Narada Muni went in front of this Srimati Radharani, who is like a small baby girl at that time. Then he told Vrishabhanu Maharaj, can you please leave this girl with me for a moment? You just stay aside. So Vrishabhanu Maharaj went out. Narada Muni got his private audience with Srimati Radharani, who was like a baby girl. Seeing that nobody is around, Narada Muni offered prostrated obeisances to Srimati Radharani. Because he's a sage, he's a sannyasi, he's a brahmachari, he's a sage. If he falls flat at an infant baby's lotus feet, people would think in 10 different ways. So Narada Muni had to control his feelings. Same thing happened with Garga Muni also. When Garga Muni went to Nanda Maharaj's home to perform his Namakaran ceremony, there, Garga Muni, as soon as he saw this little baby boy, Krishna was hardly 3 months old at that time, he wanted to offer prostrated obeisances in a mood of reverence. But he thought, what will Nanda Maharaj think? What will Yashoda Mata think? What will Rohini Mata think if I offer obeisances to this 3-month-old baby? I think I should restrain myself. Then he got another thought. Should I pick up the child and hug him and then play with him? At least showing some love affection. Because I'm an elder, he's an infant baby. If I show my affection, they may feel more comfortable. Then he thought, maybe they will think that I'm frivolous, that I'm playing with these babies. So let me be a little sober. He had to control his emotions. Same is the case with Narada Muni also. So Narada Muni could not offer obeisances to Radharani in front of Vrishabhanu. Once he went, he offered obeisances to Radharani. Then to his surprise and to his good fortune, this baby girl Srimati Radharani manifested into a very young grown-up girl in her eternal age, 14 years plus. and blessed Narada Muni. And Narada Muni offered obeisances to Srimati Radharani and also offered prayers. Then he came out. Radharani again became a baby girl. Again, blind, dumb, deaf, etc., etc. Then Vrishabhanu Maharaj asked Narada Muni, will my child ever develop her vision? Then Narada Muni said, definitely. Very soon, your child, your daughter will be able to see, speak and hear. Don't worry. Narada Muni left. And Vrishabhanu happily waited for that moment. And one day, Srimati Yashoda Mata came with her baby boy Krishna to Kirtidas palace. And she was holding Krishna in her lap, and Kirtida Mata was holding Radharani in her lap. And as it is natural for babies to go and touch other babies and have some play, Krishna went and touched Srimati Radharani's hand. Radharani understood. My dear master, my dear Lord has come finally. Then she opened her eyes. And the first thing that she ever saw in her manifest pastimes on this earthly planet is Krishna's beautiful divine form. Nothing else. So, Srimati Radharani wants to utilize her eyes only to see Krishna and nothing else. Devi Krishnamayi Prokta. And in Venu Gita, 10th canto, 21st chapter, Srimati Radharani says, and all the gopis say, Akshanvatam phalamidam naparam vidamaha. There is no other purpose for having eyes other than seeing Krishna. Right? So she is the epitome of such devotion, such a dedication of all her senses, body, mind, words, intelligence only for the service of Krishna. And these little bhaktas, sadhakas are those who are trying to develop that Krishna consciousness and dedicate one's body, mind, words to Krishna. She is the supreme goddess of devotion. It is with her blessings that we develop that devotion and that ability and that inspiration to engage all our senses in Krishna seva. Padau tatpada kankita sucharatam vrindata vivithishu tat karmaiva karah karotu hridayam tasyah padam dhyayatat tad bhavotsavatah param bhavatu me tat prananathe rati. Tat prananathe rati. Who is Krishna? The prananatha of Radha. Tat prananathe rati. So the devotees are offering prayers to Srimati Radharani that, oh my dear Srimati Radharani, may I have rati, attraction or devotion to your prananatha Krishna. Krishna likes to be introduced to others in terms of the names of his devotees. He likes to be addressed with the names of his devotees, Radha Madana Mohan. So, Jayatam Suratau Pangor Mama Mandamatir Gati Mat Sarvasva Padam Bhojau Radha Madana Mohanau. Mat Sarvasva Padam Bhojau. Devotees think that my Sarvasva, my everything is Radha Madana Mohanau. So, the Lord likes to be addressed in the in terms of the devotees' names. Radha Radhita Radhesha Radhika Pranavallabha Radha Ramana Vandetvam Radhika Prema Nirjita. This is not a prayer to Srimati Radharani. It is prayer to Krishna. Radha Aradhita. Who is Krishna? One who is worshipped by Srimati Radharani. Radha Aradhita. One name of Krishna. Radhesha, the master, the lord of Srimati Radharani. Radha Radhita Radhesha Radhika Pranavallabha. So Krishna is the Pranavallabha, the master of the life of Srimati Radharani. Radha Ramana Vandetvam. He is the one who gives great pleasure to Srimati Radharani, endeavors the most to please Srimati Radharani, means Radha Preyan Vidhur Jayati. Rupa Goswami says in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Radha Ramana Vandetvam. I offer my obeisances unto you. Radhika Prema Nirjita. One who is conquered by the devotion of Srimati Radharani. Radhika Prema Nirjita. Why? This bhakti, Shuddha bhakti, has this characteristic of Sri Krishna Akarshani. Krishna Akarshani means one who can attract Krishna. Krishna is one who is conquered by bhakti. Radhika prema nirjita. Because bhakti has its ultimate source in the supreme source of bhakti, Srimati Radharani. Bhakti has the ability to attract Krishna. So, being so attracted, being so helplessly attracted by Radhika's prema, Srimati Radharani's love, Krishna aspires for her position. Krishna aspires to take the emotion of Srimati Radharani and take the complexion of Srimati Radharani, and that's the purpose of the manifestation of the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrisho Vanayaiva. Shri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima. What is the greatness of Srimati Radharani's Pranaya Mahima? Love for Krishna. Krishna becomes very intrigued to understand. Krishna becomes very curious to know what is the greatness, what is the extent of Radha's love for me. He himself cannot understand, because he was thinking, I am the recipient of Radha's service, and Srimati Radharani is deriving 10 million times more happiness in serving me than I derive in receiving her service. She is serving Krishna, and Krishna is receiving that service, and Krishna is definitely enjoying, becoming happy with that service. But Radharani's happiness in rendering that service is 10 million times more than Krishna's happiness. So Krishna becomes very intrigued. I also want that happiness. I want to know the extent of that happiness. I want to experience that happiness. Right? So with that mood, he appeared in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by stealing the complexion of Radharani, by stealing the emotions of Srimati Radharani. So, the emotion of being a servant of Krishna, the emotion of being a devotee of Krishna is so relishable that even Krishna aspires for it. Krishna becomes more happy by being a devotee of Krishna than being Krishna. Krishna is more appreciative of the position of a devotee of Krishna than his own position. He appreciates Radharani's position more than his own position. She is Ashraya and Vishaya. Therefore, he appears as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In fact, the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a testimony for Sri Krishna's appreciation for Sri Radha's devotion. That's how exalted Srimati Radharani is. No one else can be more exalted than her, who can completely captivate the mind of even Sri Krishna, who can completely captivate the minds of every single living being. Krishna likes to give more preference to Srimati Radharani's wishes and desires more than his own. Once in the spiritual world, Srimati Radharani and Krishna went in front of a tree. And Radharani asked the tree, "Tree, can you give me a fruit?" So you don't have to climb the tree and pluck a fruit. If you just ask the tree, because tree is completely conscious and tree has full service attitude, the tree will bend and offer fruits to Srimati Radharani with the hands of its branches. So Radharani asked, "Can you give me some fruits?" The tree heard the request of Srimati Radharani. If you go and ask the tree, no tree will give you fruits. Right? Trees don't have developed consciousness in the material world. Some trees may have, but generally not. But the trees in the spiritual world have consciousness. But Krishna went behind Srimati Radharani and indicated to the tree, don't give fruits to Radharani. Now what should the tree do? Should the tree offer fruits to Radha or not? Should the tree follow the instructions of Srimati Radharani or Krishna? Naturally, the tree chose to offer fruits to Radharani by following her instructions and not by following Krishna's instructions. And that made Krishna happier. If you follow Krishna's instructions, definitely Krishna will be happy. Yasyānuvritya kritino babhuvima. We get all success only by following the injunctions of Krishna. But if the tree follows the instructions of Radharani instead of Krishna, Krishna becomes even more happy. So, to that degree, Krishna gives more importance to Srimati Radharani than he takes for himself. And it's not that the gopis of Vrindavan and especially Srimati Radharani is trying to derive some personal enjoyment in Krishna's company. They naturally become happy, but it's not that they are looking forward for personal enjoyment, selfish enjoyment in Krishna's company. They want to serve Krishna. The gopis know. Srimati Radharani knows. Krishna gets supreme enjoyment, ultimate enjoyment only in my association, only in the association of the gopis, only in Vrindavan, not anywhere else. That's why all the gopis were trying to obstruct Akrura's chariot that was taking Krishna and Balaram from Vrindavan to Mathura. Some gopis came on the streets and fell flat on the street, on the road, pathway, and told Akrura, if you want to take Krishna from Vrindavan, take your chariot over our dead bodies. Some gopis went and caught the wheels of Akrura's chariot and not allowing them to move. And some other gopis went and caught Balaramji, please request Krishna not to go. We also don't go. Some caught the driver of Akrura's chariot and then threw him down and started beating him. And some went and piteously pleaded Krishna, Krishna, please don't go. Piteously crying and pleading, Krishna, please don't go. They kept aside everything else, their womanly shyness and the social customs and everything. And they came out on the streets because these elders are not doing anything to stop Krishna. We must stop Krishna. They came out to stop Krishna. That is their overwhelming love. Not for their personal enjoyment. The gopis were not thinking, Hamara kya hoga? What will happen to us if Krishna leaves? They were thinking, what will happen to Krishna if he leaves Vrindavan? If the Mathuravasis have the ability to please Krishna and serve Krishna to his full satisfaction, then we have absolutely no objection. Let Krishna go and stay in Mathura forever. But because the Mathuravasis or Dwarkavasis or Hastinapuravasis or anywhere else in the entire cosmic manifestation, because they have no ability to serve and please Krishna as much as the Vrajavasis do, therefore we want Krishna to stay back in Vrindavan and not go anywhere else. They are completely dedicated to offering Krishna pleasure, not deriving personal pleasure from Krishna's company, Krishna's association. To that degree, the gopis of Vrindavan are helplessly dedicated to Krishna Seva, Krishna Bhava. No trace of personal enjoyment. Absolutely no desire to experience some personal enjoyment or pleasure or satisfaction in the company of Krishna. They decorate themselves only to offer pleasure to Krishna. So, because they are epitome of such dedicated, unflinching, unmotivated, uninterrupted, constant bhakti unto Krishna, they are the supreme role models for devotion. They are the supreme ashraya. Srimati Radharani is the supreme ashraya or shelter of our bhakti. Whatever little bhakti we have, whatever little devotion we have for the Supreme Lord, Krishna, is only because of the blessings of Srimati Radharani and all her expansions. She expands herself into hundreds and thousands and millions and billions of gopis to serve Krishna. She expands herself as hundreds and thousands of queens of Krishna in Dwaraka, the Mahishi Gana. And she also expands herself into hundreds and thousands of Lakshmis, the goddesses of fortune in Vaikuntha, to be the consorts of Krishna's expansions. Krishna has unlimited expansions in the spiritual world, and Radharani had her expansions, just as all these avatars and Prabhu Prakasha, Vaibhav Prakasha, and all these forms of Krishna are Krishna's manifestations. The consorts of all these forms of Krishna are manifestations of Sri Radha. Her service attitude towards Krishna is all encompassing. Wherever Krishna goes, she wants to keep a replica of herself. She wants to expand herself into some form to render service to Krishna in that form. Krishna has so many partial expansions, and Radharani also has partial expansions to serve the partial expansions of Krishna. See how much eagerness. When you love somebody and that somebody is going somewhere else for some activity, you immediately call somebody there. So, my dear friend is coming to you, please take care of him. Means we are sending your expansion there to that place to take care of your beloved. Similarly, Krishna is going to different places in different forms, manifesting different avatars. Radharani also sends her expansions to serve Krishna in that particular mood. So this is her enthusiasm, eagerness to serve Krishna. Her service to Krishna is not restricted to one place, one time zone, or one time period, all encompassing. Since time immemorial and for the rest of eternity, she continues to serve Krishna in various capacities. Service to Krishna is the only reason for her existence. She is completely existent only for the service of Krishna and nothing else. And those who are trying to cultivate that service attitude to Krishna are dependent on her blessings, her recommendation. Therefore, we need to beg for her blessings. Bhajami Radham Aravindanetram Smarami Radham Madhurasmitasyam Vadami Radham Karuna Bharardram Tato Mamanyasti Gatirna Kapim Bhajami Radham Aravinda Netram. Let us worship, let us offer obeisances to Srimati Radharani, who has lotus-like eyes. Aravinda Netram. Smarami Radham Madhurasmitasyam. Let us remember the eternal consort, the supreme divine energy of Lord Sri Krishna. Vadami Radham Karuna Bharardram. Let's understand how she is filled with compassion for all the devotees. Supreme Mother, supreme consort of Krishna, supreme devotee, who is the source of devotion amongst all devotees, right? Karuna Bharardhanam, completely compassionate, filled with mercy. Tato mamanyasti gatirna kapi. Because a devotee is one who takes shelter, ashrita of Daivi Prakriti. There is no other gati for a devotee other than Radha Sharanagati. Prakritim ashritaha, Daivim Prakritim ashritaha. She's an ocean of so many virtues. Vaidagdhya Sindhur Anuraga Rasaika Sindhur Vatsalya Sindhurati Sandra Kripaika Sindhur Lavanya Sindhur Amrita Chavi Rupa Sindhur Shri Radhika Spuratume Hridikeli Sindhur. Vaidagdhya Sindhur. Srimati Radharani is an ocean of all virtues. Anuraga Rasaika Sindhur. She is an ocean of unlimited anuraga, attraction, affection for Sri Krishna. Vaidagdhya Sindhur, ocean of virtues. Anuraga Rasaika Sindhur. She is an ocean of unlimited affection for Krishna. Vatsalya Sindhur. She has so much Vatsalya. She has so much of love and affection for all the gopis of Vrindavan, for all the devotees who are following in her footsteps. Vatsalya Sindhur. Vaidagdhya Sindhur, Anuraga Rasaika Sindhur. Lavanya Sindhur. Srimati Radharani is also an ocean of Lavanya, beauty. Krishna is an ocean of beauty, ocean of Saundarya, Sarva Saundarya Sangraham. And if there is any beauty that can outsmart or defeat or supersede Krishna's beauty, that is Srimati Radharani's beauty. As yesterday we were discussing, as in the Samudra Manthan episode, the churning of the milk ocean produces so many products, and Srimati Lakshmi Devi also comes out of that Samudra Manthan. Lakshmi Devi manifests from the churning of the milk ocean. And after some time, and she also marries Lord Vishnu, and after some time, Mohini Murti manifests, because these asuras snatched away the nectar pot from Dhanvantari's hand and ran away. To rescue that nectar pot and to offer that nectar to the Devatas, the Supreme Lord Vishnu manifested as Mohini Murti and completely captivated the minds of all asuras, cheated them, allured them, and took away the nectar pot and offered every drop to the Devatas only, not a single drop to the asuras. One asura, Rahu, wanted to drink something. Before his drop of nectar could even pass through his throat, the Lord has cut his throat. So this is how the Lord provided nectar to all the Devatas. So, if you keep Lakshmi Devi and Mohini Murti next to each other, Prabhupada writes in that purport, 8th canto purports, the Supreme Lord is not only the most beautiful person amongst all men, he is the most beautiful person amongst all women also. So Mohini Murti's beauty is superior to even Lakshmi Devi's beauty. He is most beautiful amongst women also. But the Acharyas also say that if you keep that Mohini Murti next to Srimati Radharani, Radharani completely outsmarts and defeats the beauty of Mohini Murti. Mohinyamapi nasti medbhutamatim ka parvati korvashi. So if Mohini Murti cannot stand in front of the beauty of Srimati Radharani, how can Ka Parvati, Korvashi, Urvasi or any other heavenly damsel, how can they even match the beauty of Srimati Radharani? So she is Lavanya Sindhu. Vaidagdhya Sindhur Anuraga Rasaika Sindhur. Lavanya Sindhur Amrita Chavi Rupa Sindhur. She is an ocean of beauty. Amrita Chavi Rupa Sindhur. Vatsalya Sindhur Atisandra Kripaika Sindhur. Vatsalya Sindhu is, she is an ocean of Vatsalya, affection for all the gopis and devotees. Atisandra Kripaika Sindhur. Kripa means mercy. Sandra Kripa means condensed mercy. Atisandra Kripa means extremely condensed mercy. Atisandra Kripaika Sindhu means an ocean of extremely condensed mercy. That is Srimati Radharani. Recently, in another session, we were discussing how Srimati Radharani showed such extreme degree of compassion to a she-jackal by sending her representative Lalita Devi to rescue her. That Lalita Devi represents the spiritual master, Guru. And ultimately, Guru is a representative of Srimati Radharani, the supreme abode of devotion for Krishna. And that she-jackal, I'm not going to elaborate that story because we recently discussed it a few days back. That she-jackal who was being tormented by some little children in fire in a hole represents the conditioned soul who is struggling in this samsara davanala. To protect the conditioned soul from the samsara davanala, Guru has to come and shower his mercy. And that Guru is representative of Srimati Radharani, the supreme goddess of devotion, the supreme personification of Krishna Bhakti and Krishna Prema. Right? So, Anuraga Rasaika Sindhur, Vatsalya Sindhur, Amrita Chavi Rupa Sindhur, Lavanya Vatsalya Sindhur, Atisandra Kripaika Sindhur, Sri Radhika Spuratu Me Hridikeli Sindhur. She is also an ocean of unlimited pastimes with Sri Krishna. Now, she is such an ocean of compassion that it is with her recommendation that the Lord accepts her. We will conclude with this one last point. I was told I can go till 9:45. I have 3 more minutes. Talk time. So, Srimati Radharani is extremely compassionate that she recommends a devotee to Krishna, saying that this devotee is better than me. Who can be better than Srimati Radharani in their devotion to Krishna? But Radharani is so humble. We began with humility, let's end also with humility. Srimati Radharani is so humble naturally that she recommends another devotee to Krishna, saying that this devotee is better than me, please accept. Then Krishna says, okay, if you say so, let me accept. So, one of the important characteristics of a mature devotee is not to feel envious, not to feel jealous, seeing the spiritual progress of another devotee, not to feel insecure, not to make any attempts to pull down that devotee by politically maneuvering the situations. Srimati Radharani is an epitome of such encouragement, blessing, and non-enviousness. So, she recommends other devotees. Once, Srimati Radharani in the Venu Gita, in the 21st chapter of the 10th canto of Bhagavatam, she said that this devotee is the best devotee of Krishna. Who is the devotee? Giriraj Govardhan. She said, Hantaya Madrirabala Haridasa Varyo Yadrama Krishna Charanas Parasha Pramodaha Manam Tanoti Sahago Ganayostayoryat Pani Yasuyavasakandara Kandamulai. Although she is the supreme goddess of devotion, she is appreciating the devotion in the heart of another devotee. In fact, Giriraj Govardhan manifested because Srimati Radharani requested Krishna to manifest a pastime place, and from the heart of Krishna, Govardhan, Giriraj manifested. And now Srimati Radharani is appreciating Giriraj Govardhan, saying that Hantaya Madri Rabala Haridasa Varyo. This Haridasa Varya, the best of all servants of Lord Hari, is Govardhan mountain. Haridasa Varya. Why? Yadrama Krishna Charanas Parasha Pramodaha. By the divine touch of the lotus feet of Sri Krishna and Balaram, and Ram is also Krishna, the mountain Govardhan is rejoicing, ecstatic. Pramodaha. Manam tanoti sahago ganayostayoryat. This Giriraj Govardhan is offering so much of respect to not only Krishna, to all the associates of Krishna. Our respect for the Supreme Lord Krishna is not sufficient. We need to also learn to respect all the devotees of Krishna. Then Krishna is completely pleased. If you love Krishna, he is pleased. But if you love the devotees of Krishna, he is more pleased. If you serve the devotees of Krishna, he is extremely pleased. If you genuinely appreciate them, don't envy them, and encourage them and reassure them and support them in whatever way you could, Krishna becomes extremely pleased. Right? But if you criticize devotees, offend devotees, diplomatically, hypocritically try to harm devotees, or pull them down, discourage them, dishearten them, then Krishna is not pleased. In fact, aparadha is something which is done against the mood of Radha. Aradhana is something which is done in line with Radha's desire. So we need to embrace Aradhana and go away from aparadha. Right? Radha is there in both. This is aparadha, this is Aradhana. Aradhana means worship of Krishna, worship of devotees of Krishna. And Radharani becomes pleased with this Aradhana. But aparadha means going against the devotees of Krishna, offending Krishna, offending Krishna's devotees, hurting their hearts. That hurts Krishna's heart, that hurts Radharani's heart. Because that devotee to whom someone has done aparadha has a little fragmental part of Radha's bhakti, Radha's mood, Radha's affection for Krishna. Because the devotee is a part and parcel of Krishna, and the devotee has a small fragmental part of Srimati Radharani's devotion to Krishna, Therefore, aparadha to such a devotee displeases Radha and Krishna. Right? Makes sense? It has to make sense. If it doesn't make sense, then we cannot make progress in bhakti. Aparadha towards a devotee is hurting to Radharani's heart and Krishna's heart. But appreciating other devotees genuinely, not like flattery, not like unnecessary flattery to get things done from the devotees, but genuinely appreciating devotees. And that's what she is also doing. And that's what she does to practically all the devotees. And the supreme devotee that she says is Haridasavarya Giriraj Govardhan. Manam tanoti sahago ganayostayoryat. What is the special quality of Giriraj Govardhan? Because Giriraj Govardhan is giving manam tanoti, offering respect to all the devotees of Krishna along with Krishna. And Srimati Radharani is respecting that Govardhan who is respecting other devotees along with Krishna. Right? A Kanishta person is one who respects the Lord but has not much respect for devotees of the Lord. Isn't it? But a mature devotee is one who respects the Lord and respects all the devotees of the Lord also. And that pleases Srimati Radharani. Radharani is appreciating Giriraj Govardhan for his appreciation towards other devotees of Krishna. Radharani is respecting Giriraj Govardhan for his respect for other devotees of Krishna, along with Krishna. Then bhakti becomes complete. Bhakti is not just bhakti unto Krishna. Bhakti is to also respect the devotees of Krishna who are under the shelter of the supreme devotee, Srimati Radharani. Manam tanoti sahago ganayostayoryat paniya suyavasakandara kandamulai. Paniya. How is Giriraj Govardhan respecting the devotees of Krishna, all the Vrajavasis? Paniya, by offering water. Ultimately, water comes from Krishna. The taste of water comes from Krishna. Rasoham sukaunteya prabhasmi shishuryayoho. If you are taking little water and offering to a devotee, it's not that you are doing some great benefit to that devotee. Ultimately, Krishna provided that water. You are grabbing that opportunity to serve that devotee, and that service to that devotee pleases Radharani and Krishna. So we are swam satkartum. We are benefiting our own selves by serving devotees. Not that we are benefiting other devotees. Krishna is merciful towards devotees. Even if you don't help them and assist them, Krishna will ensure that they will get that help, they will get that assistance that they deserve through other devotees who are more kinder than you. But if you want to make spiritual progress, grab that opportunity to serve a devotee and become dear to Radha and Krishna. Right? So, how is Giriraj Govardhan serving the Vrajavasis? Paniya, offering water, waterfalls. So many water bodies are around Giriraj Govardhan. Radhakund, Shyamakund, Navalakund, Apsarakund, Govindakund, Surabhikund, Mansarovar, Mansi Ganga. So many such water reservoirs are there. Waterfalls are there on Govardhan. Paniya. Second, Suyavasa. Suyavasa means grass. So, Govardhan offers fragrant, soft grasses to all the cows of Krishna. That's why Govardhan is called Govardhan, that which nourishes cows. So, Srimati Radharani is the nourisher, as we saw. Ladinira dvara kare bhaktera poshana. Poshana means nourishment. Bhaktera poshana means nourishing devotees. Srimati Radharani is the supreme devotee of Krishna who nourishes other devotees of Krishna. Right? And a sincere devotee, mature devotee of Krishna who also tries to nourish other devotees. And that devotee who is appreciated by Radharani for his nourishing other devotees is Govardhan. Govardhan. Suyavasa, by offering grasses, Govardhan is nourishing all the cows of Krishna, the devotees of Krishna. So, Radharani is very happy with Giriraj Govardhan. If you want to make devotees happy, if you want to make Srimati Radharani happy, serve devotees. Paniya Suyavasa, Kandara, offering caves. The caves of Govardhan are meant not only for pleasure of Krishna, the caves of Govardhan are also meant for all the Gopas, the devotees of Krishna, because these devotees of Krishna, whenever it is raining outside, they will enter the caves and hide themselves. Whenever it is hot outside, they will enter the caves and get some AC effect. Whenever it is cold outside, they will enter the caves of Govardhan and they will get some warmth. Kandara. Kandamulaihi, by offering fruits and roots to all the devotees of Krishna, Govardhan mountain is nourishing Krishna. Right? And Govardhan mountain received so much of appreciation from Srimati Radharani. And ultimately, we are dependent on Radharani's recommendation to Krishna. Right? So, on this day of Shri Radhashtami, let us offer our humble prayers to Srimati Radharani. She is the supreme goddess of devotion. She has so many esoteric pastimes with Krishna. I am not qualified to read or study or narrate those deep, exalted pastimes of Srimati Radharani with Krishna. But on this day of Srimati Radhashtami, we just meditated on her being the supreme abode of bhakti, devotion, and our dependence on her blessings to develop some little devotion and become dear to Krishna. Tat prananathe ratihi, and beg her to get some rati to her prananatha Krishna. And to increase, to improve our little feeble devotion for Krishna, we need blessings of Srimati Radharani. And on this auspicious day of Shri Radhashtami, let us beg for her blessings so that we become more sincere in our sadhana, in our seva, and in our sadachar, and thus nourish ourselves in Vaishnava Sangha and come closer to the lotus feet of Krishna with the assistance of our glorious Guru Parampara. Thank you very much. Shri Radhashtami Maha Mahotsav ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu ki jai.